Many of us want to travel the world, but traveling has its precautions, and depending on where you're going, some places have a dark history that will make you think twice before stepping foot. So I decided to do some digging and found the top 10 haunted places you won't want to go near. I'm your host Andrew, and let's get right into this one. At number 10 spot, we have the Conjuring House. In January 1971, the Perron family moved into a 14-room farmhouse in Harrisville, Rhode Island, where Carolyn, Roger, and their 5 daughters began to notice strange things happening almost immediately after they moved in. Caroline would notice that the broom went missing or seemed to have moved from place to place on its own. She would hear the sound of something scraping against the kettle in the kitchen when no one was there, and she would find small piles of dirt in the center of a newly cleaned kitchen floor. But who knows, that could have just been the children. Carolyn allegedly researched the history of the home and discovered that it had been in the same family for 8 generations and that many of them had passed away under mysterious or horrible circumstances. Several of the children had drowned in a nearby creek, one was murdered, and a few of them hanged themselves in the attic. Yeah, kinda dark. Over the 10 years that the family lived in the house, the Warrens made multiple trips to investigate. At our number 9 spot, we have Jaruk Peru Cemetery. Of course, cemeteries make excellent haunted locations, but Jaruk Peru Cemetery in Indonesia is possibly one of the most haunted graveyards in the world. It is said to be haunted by the spirit of a decapitated pastor who walks around holding his head in his hands and is frequently being followed by a giant black dog. He allegedly went hunting for his own grave, which is really in another cemetery. The priest is not the only ghost in this cemetery, however, although he is the most well known. It's stated that if you're with an odd number group of individuals on Friday nights, you will have the best chance of running into him. Apparently, nighttime visitors to the cemetery are quite common, and there are even reports that the groundskeeper will take you on a small tour for a small fee. At number 8 spot, we have Waverly Hills Sanatorium. This facility was built in Louisville, Kentucky in 1910. This sanatorium had a huge problem with overcrowding, as it housed many suffering from the tuberculosis crisis in the United States at the time. Now it's believed that this building claimed the life of 50,000 people with the rate of 1 person every 10 minutes. Bodies were sent out of the building through this body chute to hide them from other patients. Waverly was known to experiment on their patients as well. This includes heliotherapy with the sun, electroshock therapy, and sometimes they would break a patient's ribs to collapse their lungs, then reinflating the lungs with balloons in hopes to cure them. Many say the patients of the deceased still wander these halls. More specifically, there is a spirit named the Creeper who wanders the halls, and they feed off the sickness and have been reported to climb around the walls and the ceilings of the building. At number 7 spot, we have the Matilda House. In Singapore, there's a house where there are rumors that there was a lady with long hair in the trees in the surrounding area, and also that some people have actually passed away while working at this home. It is known as the Matilda House. However, some people say they don't know exactly if it's haunted or not, and if it is, by who? The Matilda House is an abandoned millionaire's mansion. The story behind it is that it was built in 1902 by Irish lawyer Alexander Cashin for his wife, and was named after his mother. The house stayed in the Cashin family for a while until it was left abandoned before the government got their hands on it. Legend has it that the house refused to be demolished, with stories saying unexplained forces would always get in the way of tearing down the house or any major renovations. Many have linked this to an ancestral spirit who guards the house to this day, and some have even reported seeing a lady sitting atop nearby trees, staring aggressively at any person looking to visit these grounds. At number 6 spot, we have the Old Chengji Hospital. The now abandoned hospital was built in 1935 by the British colonial government as part of the military base camp in the area. It included 2 military buildings, Block 24 and Block 37. These are part of the Kitchener Barracks, which housed the Royal Engineers of the British Army. However, the hospital's peak was short-lived, with the grounds being seized by Japanese troops in 1942 and was used as a holding ground for prisoners of war. During the occupation, the hospital was said to have been used as a torture facility by the Japanese secret police, based on the fact that there are rooms with thick chains hanging from the walls and blood-stained floors. Before and after its closure in 1997, visitors and hospital guards claimed to have seen phantoms resembling nurses and soldiers roaming its corridors, as well as hearing unexplained hellish shrieks. The horror film Haunted Chengji was even filmed on the site, and the crew reported strange occurrences, with unexplained noises, disembodied voices, and sightings of ghostly figures in the background. Right in the Humber list, we have St. Charles East High School. Ghosts are scary enough as it is, but when they're accompanied by a horrifying, gruesome backstory, they become the fuel of nightmares. St. Charles East High School in Illinois is where it is rumored that the spirit of a former freshman girl haunts the halls, said to have been playing her flute in the band room when a deranged janitor assaulted assaulted her and took her life. She was then cut up into pieces and stuffed in various lockers across the high school. Since then, band members occasionally run across body parts in their lockers, but a lot of the times it's a prank, and other times they just disappear right in front of them. Others claim to hear the sounds of a faint flute being played when the room is quiet or when they're alone. Worst of all, many have had their flutes disappear mysteriously, while others notice signs that their instrument had been played while left at school overnight. Could it be played by this girl? Who knows? At number 4 spot, we have the Minchin Chapel. Minchin Chapel, located in the wooded area of Hertfordshire, England, dates all the way back in its origins to the 14th century. Everything we talk about on this list is old, so what do you expect? Here lies a ruined chapel with a dark recent history associated with it. Reginald Hannay was a local historian who researched into the chapel's history extensively. He did so much he ended up falling in love with the place. It was during one of his visits in 1907 that his companion, W.T. Latchmore, photographed a phantom monk coming out of the ruins. Then after a few decades, Reginald took his own life from strange circumstances at Hitchin railway station. It's said that he calmly stepped in front of the train while in the midst of a conversation with one of his friends. At number 3 spot, we have the Fairmont Banff Springs Hotel. The hotel has been haunted since 1888. One of the most famous ghosts seen at this hotel is the Ghost Bride. The Ghost Bride is either seen on the main staircase or in the hotel's ballroom. The Ghost Bride's story goes that on her wedding day, something startled her so bad and caused her to slip and fall. Some say that her heel got caught in her dress, or that her dress got caught in a candle's flame and went up in fire. Whether either story is true or not, what is known is that she passed away on that very exact staircase. Ever since, hotel staff and visitors claim to have seen a veiled figure walking up and down the stairs in the middle of the night. And on the other hand, others claim seeing her in the ballroom dancing, since she had never had the chance to dance with her husband. Number 2, Beechworth Lunatic Asylum. Beechworth Asylum, also known as Mayday Lunatic Asylum, operated from 1867 all the way until 1995, and it is located in Beechworth, Victoria, Australia. Over those 128 years, over 9,000 patients died within these walls, and people claim that some still remain. Many see faces floating in the windows, while others see the apparitions of the people who passed there. Many have spoken of the figure of a man who appears near the cellar and then completely vanishes within a second. Matron Sharp, who spent most of her life there, has been spotted on more than one occasion appearing as a gray hooded apparition in the corner of dark rooms. Then on top of that, doors swing open by themselves, and other times mysterious screams can be heard. Now the area is used for tourism and artistic uses, but remember, this place claimed the lives of 9,000 people. There's bound to be at least one of them there if you decide to take a visit. At number 1 spot, we have Hawthorne Hotel. The Hawthorne Hotel in Salem, Massachusetts possibly has a slight connection to the Salem witch trials of the 1600s. Just for a little witch history 101, the first woman who was executed during the trials was Bridget Bishop. Bridget is said to have owned an apple orchard which was on the same grounds as where the hotel stands today. While walking through the hotel, people claim to have picked up the scent of apples, which is said to be the spirit of Bridget. On separate occasions, guests of the hotel have seen the apparition of a woman standing still in the corner of the hallway of room 612. She's also seen around the hotel, but it seems that she never strays too far away from room 612. I love apples, but if it's related to an evil spirit, then no thanks. Well, these are the top 10 haunted places you won't want to go near. I'm your host Andrew, and I hope you guys have a scary day.